What is up, everyone? It's United Weather here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at an Arctic blast later this week that will affect the Northeast, which will be the cause for Fiona turning out to sea, and could also bring some freezing temperatures and maybe even our first flakes to some places in the Northeast. Now, as always, before we do get started, if you guys do enjoy the content I put out, and you do enjoy this video and find it helpful, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It does help my videos get out to more people, and helps more people see this information. So first things first here, taking a look at the live infrared satellite for Fiona. As you can see, Fiona has moved a little bit west. It is starting to kind of swing northward a little bit here in these last few frames of the satellite. But as you can see, your center of circulation is right about here. And as you can see, it is pretty much almost over the Turks and Caicos. Now, I don't know. I think this might swing a little bit just to the west of, or to the east of it rather. And we might see a near miss, maybe a landfall here in the Turks and Caicos, unfortunately, which is not what we wanted to happen. But it looks like it is pretty much done with Puerto Rico. Um, Dominican Republic, you guys are still getting some of those outer bands. I expect that to stop probably this afternoon. You guys should probably get out of that. But as this moves to the north and slowly to the west as well a little bit, it has been moving a little bit further to the west than I think most forecasts anticipated. But obviously, it has strengthened a bit. This is currently a Category 3, 115-mile-per-hour winds. And as you can see in the bottom right, it is moving north-northwest at 10 miles per hour. So you do expect this to strengthen a little bit as it moves past the Bahamas, just to the east of the Bahamas, and through the Turks and Caicos through today and into tomorrow. And eventually, it will speed up a little bit. We'll get into why in a second, because that is that Arctic blast that we were talking about, is going to kind of cause this to get pushed out to sea. And before we get into some of these models, really quickly, I want to throw up on screen the Storm Prediction Center has issued a day 2 slight risk for places in western Pennsylvania, western New York, and the Ohio Valley. Now, this will be associated with the cold front and the basically Arctic air that will get pulled in from this cold front that will eventually push Fiona out to sea. And on top of that, they have also issued a day 3 marginal outlook for places in the Mid Atlantic coast. I do expect this. I think we might see it get updated to a slight risk as we go into maybe tomorrow or maybe even Thursday. I think this will probably get upgraded to a slight risk, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, going ahead and taking a look at the GFS model, this is what it currently looks like right now. As you can see, you have Fiona sitting down here in the bottom right corner. You have your kind of cold front all the way over here in the western United States, which will slowly move to the east and eventually push Fiona out to sea. So if we move ahead a little bit more here, this is um 2 p.m. I believe this is Wednesday. Your cold front is now here, sitting right over the Northeast. You have Fiona here, and it eventually get pushed out to sea by this. And you can see your kind of severe weather marked by this kind of dark green and orange here in the Northeast, which will bring some probably. I don't think it will be much of a threat other than the gusty winds. Which obviously with a cold front that's this, this is pretty strong, and this is caused by the big storm that we just had in Alaska has kind of been had the shockwave effect, which kind of created this cold front here. So obviously, this is a pretty strong cold front, especially for this time of year. If we go ahead and look at the upper air here really quickly, um, you know that's fairly impressive for this time of year. We haven't had one of these cold fronts or low pressures this strong in the Northeast in a while, so it's definitely going to be pretty windy, and it's definitely going to bring in some pretty not record low, but pretty cold air into the Northeast after this moves out. So as you see here, Fiona gets pushed out to sea. Maybe definitely some swells along the East Coast. Maybe places here, on the very tip of, like Cape Cod, Rhode Island, this area here, you might get some showers and thunderstorms, maybe some gusty winds from this. Because, I mean, this thing does, once it kind of merges with this cold front, it will have a pretty big wind field, as you can take a look right here. So you see winds gusting to maybe, 20, 30 knots here on places on the tip of Long Island, Cape Cod areas there. Now, if we switch to the temperatures here, as you can see, after this cold front moves through, it brings in these really below average temperatures for the Northeast, and it kind of sits here for a while, right? You have this period of above average, next week, and then you get another area or another period rather of below average temperatures, even more below average, more below average, more below average, and it kind of just sits there for a while. You guys are going to be having a nice couple of weeks in the Northeast if you are a winter lover. So that is definitely something to look forward to. The South. I can't really say the same. You guys are definitely going to be getting some hot temperatures for now. Um, Maybe next week, depending on where this cold front kind of does how what it does as it moves to the east. You guys could see some colder temperatures, but that's obviously still too far away to really know for certain. Now, switching to the NAM 3 kilometer model, this is one of the short range models here. Take a look at the severe weather. You can see, definitely some showers, some thunderstorms in northern Maine, northern New York, Vermont, areas like that today, but nothing severe, right? And now this is going to be September 21st. This is tomorrow at 3 a.m. As you can see, you have your thunderstorms developing here in Ohio and eventually entering western Pennsylvania as it moves to the east with this cold front. And this is 12 p.m. This is tomorrow afternoon. Um, and as you can see, you have, little scattered thunderstorms here throughout Ohio, Pennsylvania, and western New York. And these will eventually move to the east. I think this will mainly be kind of a late night threat here for places like, not late night, right? But like, after dark. So like 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. I'd say is when the greatest chance for some of these thunderstorms are here. And as this moves to the east, you can see it kind of develops this little line here that eventually moves to places in northern New Jersey, southern New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island through the day. This is early, actually, early on a Wednesday. So, it's very rare. I think yeah, it's pretty rare you see a severe weather event early in the day in the Northeast. But that looks like, according to the NAM, right now, that is what it is looking like. And of course, this is still pretty far out. It could change. And then, of course, behind it, you're going to have these scattered showers and thunderstorms here throughout the day on Wednesday and probably continuing into Thursday as well. So if you were in the Northeast, maybe even the Mid Atlantic coast, Wednesday and Thursday, definitely going to be a unsettled couple of days for you. And then after that, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it is going to be cold and beautiful. If you guys love fall, if you guys love winter, you guys will definitely be enjoying this. Now, I know you guys are probably like, well, is there going to be any snow with this? Well, the answer is maybe. Okay, this is Wednesday night, right? This is 2 a.m. or Thursday morning at 2 a.m., right? You can see here on the GFS model, I'll try to outline it my best for you. This blue line here, this is called the 540 line. Now, anything in the 540 line typically does tend to be in the form of winter precipitation. So as you can see, this pushes into, northern Vermont, northern upstate New York. And as you can see, the GFS model showing some shades of blue here in the northeast. Now, I think we might see some flurries probably in the higher elevations, right? I don't think, if you're in like Connecticut or Rhode Island, Massachusetts, southern Vermont, I don't think you'll really see any of that snow just yet. I think it's a bit too early for that. However, if you were in the higher elevations here in upstate New York, northern Vermont, northern Maine, you definitely have the possibility to see some snow. If we take a look here at the total accumulation according to the GFS model, you see some little shades of blue here popping up. These are the higher elevations, like I'm talking about. Um, it's well, honestly, it's not looking too great. However, there is definitely a possibility that you guys could see some flurries in the higher elevations as you go into Thursday and maybe even Friday night. So now that that is all out of the way, I did just want to show you guys something really quickly that we have been watching very closely here. Um, if we move ahead a little bit further on the 060 GFS, now before I show this, I just want you guys to know, in no way am I saying this is going to happen. In no way am I saying that you should start preparing now. I'm just saying that there are a lot of eyes on this. This is a very strong signal for a potential hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. If we move a little bit further ahead here on the GFS, yes, as you can see, there is a pretty strong storm here in the Gulf of Mexico off the coast of Florida next week. Once again, this is still pretty far out, right? We saw how Fiona, there were models showing Fiona, slamming into the Northeast last week when we were a week out. It's really uncertain, okay? I will say the only reason I'm showing this is because there is a very strong signal on many of the ensemble members. The air is there is very favorable. The waters are very warm. There is no wind shear. Almost every ensemble member is showing something here, and it is definitely looking like we will have to turn our eyes to the Gulf of Mexico late this week and into next week. So obviously, something to keep an eye on. Not 100% going to happen. If you were living on the Florida And you know what? I'm just gonna say anywhere on the Gulf Coast, I would keep my eyes on this. Maybe even, southern Florida too, even if you're on the Atlantic coast in southern Florida, I would definitely keep my eyes on this. Um, it is looking like we are going to be having something here next week, whether it's, a weak tropical storm, whether it's just an area of showers and thunderstorms, or whether it's a category 5 major hurricane. We do not know yet. But there is definitely a strong signal there that something will be in the Gulf of Mexico next week that is worth keeping an eye on. So, with that being said, that is going to be it for today's video. My next video, I will be covering the storm. I will be going over everything, just so you guys can be aware of it. Um, and we will definitely be having to watch this as we go into next week. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. As always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay safe. And peace out.